Okay, so we have our exams coming up, and I just want to talk today quickly about your review and study. And I want to put in the terms in the context of our recent topic on consumer arithmetic. And in particular, I want to go over the taxation topic that we've been doing and the mastery test, which some of you had a few troubles with. But when we talk about review and study for maths, I want to talk about a few things. The first one that's essential is, unfortunately, in maths, not unfortunately, sorry, it's important in maths, that you know your content. So you have to know what your content is. And you have to know along with that content, there's a whole lot of skills that go along with that. These skills in this topic, for instance, we had a lot of skills revolving around percentages in this topic. And so really one of your first steps in study is to nail this. One way to nail that is to start thinking about summarising it, making a summary. And that's your first step. That's your starting point. It's not the end of your study, it's just where you start. You've got your summary, you've got your key points. Now, I'm just going to jump across here to this taxation mastery test over here that we worked on in class. And this question here was where some people started having a bit of trouble. And so it talks about Luke earning $80,500 in his job as a surf coach and also receiving $23,200 from other investments. Quite a wise investor, Luke must be. His allowable tax deductions came to this. So we've got this earning this plus this income. And now we want to talk about his gross annual income. It says calculate his gross annual income. And this is where that summary point of study income is important, because you need to know what the gross annual income is. You need to know these basic surface level knowledge. Gross income is the total income. Now also, if you read this question, you get this sense, it says 80,500 plus that. Pretty much tells me in the question what I'm going to be doing. So my gross annual income, I'm going to take the money he earned as a surf coach plus his income from other sources of $23,200. $103,700. And we know that all we're talking about here is the income he's bringing in. So we know that these deductions are not to do with that. Calculate his taxable income. Again, that's where the summary, the content, the skills becomes important, because we should remember that taxable income is equal to your gross income minus your allowable tax deductions. Okay, and so now we know that that question's quite straightforward and easy. I've got my gross income, I have to take away my allowable tax deductions. Once you have the knowledge, it's easy. 103,700. Take away the $14,167. Give me $89,533 as my taxable income. So first thing, as I said, get that content, get the skills, get the summary, get the knowledge behind you. Now, what's one of the big differences in maths between the high achievers and those mid and low achievers is making connections. Look for connections. If you can make those connections as you're studying, you're going to be much stronger and deeper knowledge than just the surface level knowledge of having memorized formulas or having memorized terminology and definitions. And that comes important back over here as we come to the next question. Calculate the 1.5% Medicare levy for Luke. And there's a connection here. It's like getting a light bulb on in the brain. I read Medicare levy, I have to think something. I know I've got to do 1.5%, but of what? Medicare levy, that connection with Medicare levy is connected to taxable income. So I know I've got to find my 1.5% of my taxable income, $89,533. So 1.5% of $89,533. So put that in the calculator. We know we can do that as 1.5 divided by 100 times 89,533. Just running out of room here. I'll do it here quickly. That turns out to be $1,343. So these connections are important, a bit more deeper in the learning, not just knowing the terms, but knowing what they connect to. A third thing that's important in your mathematics study, and something you should be practicing in class and also in your study, is your working out. We're not just looking here for the right answer, we're looking for how you can communicate to me the right answer. Your examiner's not just looking for the right answer, it wants to know how you communicate to them. Your employer in the future won't be looking just to get an answer, he'll want to know how you got that answer and why it's going to be the best answer for her. So to calculate the 1.5% Medicare levy for Luke, I'll just show you quickly what two students did. So here's the first student. Calculate the 1.5% Medicare levy. And you can see what the student's done. They've gone, divide by 100 times 1.5. I can see straight away from this, they know how to find 1.5%. That's a good positive sign. If the question's out of 2, they've got 1 mark. What I can also see is where they went wrong. They didn't have that connection. Medicare levy links to taxable income. They've gone gross income. So I can now give them good, strong feedback that says, let's make this connection. Medicare levy, taxable income. Go back to your taxable income. Use your skills which you have. Just get the connection correct. So firstly, well communicated. They're going to get credit for their communication in marks, and they're going to get feedback that's relevant to them. Calculate the 1.5% Medicare levy for Luke. 155.85. No idea. No working out, no communication. I have no idea what they've done. I've got no idea how they went about and calculated this. Can't give them any marks. I can't feed back to them. If I was their employer, they're not really telling me anything. So working out, it's all about communication. And communication, be it in mathematics, English, history, whatever, that's the key. Key in school, it's key in your exams, it's going to be the key in your workplace. Okay, so let's come back over here. We'll concentrate now on these skills over here. Calculate the tax payable for Luke. So again, here's a connection. Tax payable for Luke. Tax payable links to something. It links again back to taxable income. So I've talked about this before. We've said that we're going to get paid. Sure, we're going to get paid our gross annual income. And sure, our employer is going to tax us on that to start with. But it doesn't mean the employer is going to get it right. Eventually, I'm going to have to use some of my income as my tax deductions. It's going to be buying the pens I need to be a teacher. It's going to be paying for the petrol I use to transport the chess club. It's going to be paying for things that I need for work. And I'm going to take them out of my gross income. My employer is not aware of those things that's happening. So I'm going to take them away from my gross income. And after I've done that, I'm going to find out what my true taxable income is. So calculate his tax payable, I'm going to work from here, the $89,533. And of course, we're going to use our tax table. $89,533. And the tax table is right here. It's a nice, simple table. Follow it down, $89,533. Jump in at this point here. It's in this bracket. That's where my taxable income is. And notice, in the test you'll have this, taxable income, $89,533. Tells me over here exactly what I have to do. It says, write this down almost, $17,547 plus, mathematical symbol, 37 cents, 0.37 cents, for each dollar over 80,000. So I need to work out each dollar over 80,000. Just that, as it is written, can just go into your calculator nice and simply, and you'll have an answer straight away. Do that in your calculator, you'll find out. I'll write it over here. Sorry about the lack of working out down the page. $21,074.21. So this is where we're at the moment. We've had Luke's gross income. We've managed to take away the tax deductions. We've got his taxable income. We've seen there's a connection to Medicare. We've seen there's a connection to his tax payable. We're seeing here that Luke paid $17,508 in pay-as-you-go tax instalments throughout the year. Will Luke be able to refund, or will he have to pay more tax? Straight away, this question is quite straightforward because it doesn't ask us what the refund will be, but this is how much he has paid. Earlier, a minute ago, he said his tax payable was $21,000. He's only paid this much. He hasn't paid enough. If you owe me $21,000, you've only paid me $17,000. I want the rest of the money. So he's going to have to pay more tax. Okay, I'm going to stop it there. I'm going to come back to the Part C questions in a separate video. This video is getting longer, and that way we'll be able to chunk it down into some separate videos.